Hi folks, welcome to wiredleaks.com. I'm Papa Droid and I'm going to show you one of the most stunning devices of this time. I know I say that a lot, and we have reviewed the Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 Pro not so long ago, which is absolutely one of the greatest budget phones in the world at the moment. But then again, this is not a budget phone. It's about 600-700 euros. And to be honest, it's worth every penny. Why? Because it's one of the most beautiful phones of the moment. It's fast, it's good looking, and it's made by the world's number 2, Huawei. Huawei has actually managed to kick Apple's butt of number 2, and I think this device is pretty much the reason for it. Meet the Huawei P20. Mind you, this is not the Pro version, this is the ordinary P20. It has a notch design, as you can tell. It's rather thin. Let us look at the right side where we can find the volume rocker and the on-off button. On the other side there's the SIM tray. On top there's only a noise reduction microphone and nothing else. And on the downside of the phone we'll find the USB-C charger, charge plug, and we find the speaker grill and the microphone grill. Like I said, it's a notch design phone, but it managed to keep the notch about half as big as Apple and all the other notch phones that are around at the moment. Then let's go for the absolute looker of this phone, the glass rear. Now, I've said this many times before, and people that know my reviews know I'm not a big fan of glass backsides, but I can't say anything else, but this is gorgeous. What does bug me a bit is the fact that it's quite smudgy and a real fingerprint magnet, and if you're not as OCD as I am, you probably won't have any problems with that. On the other hand, it has a great dual camera on board. This is the Leica camera, which brings you 20 and 12 megapixel dual camera. Of course, it has a real bokeh effect, there's no doubt about that. And the front camera. Let's talk about the front camera, people. What about 24 megapixels right there for you? You can also take portrait mode pictures with the front camera. And overall, the Leica cameras use strong artificial intelligence, which make the pictures absolutely come out great. Of course, I'm going to show you some photo samples and pictures and video samples later on. Yeah, like I said, this phone is absolutely beautiful. It has a 5.8-inch screen. What I love about the screen is that the blacks are really black and the colors are really saturated. So it took me a while to realize that it's actually an LCD IPS screen and not an AMOLED screen. Then there is the Bluetooth 4.2. It only weighs 165 grams and it's 7.7 millimeters thin. So it's not only one of the lightest notch phones around, but it's also one of the thinnest. Mind you that even the iPhone and the Xiaomi 6 Pro, for instance, are all about 8-9 millimeters thick. So that's a real difference there. That keeps the phone light as well. Now, let's go and look at some software and look at a closer menu and a closer watch at the phone itself. Let's take a look at the actual phone and the software that's on it. For instance, let's look how fast a heavy app like Facebook opens. As you can tell, that's really fast. And there's little to no stutter when I scroll through the timeline. As you can tell, it's really sentient and moving great. Then they have this great thing with the home button where you push once and it goes back, and you hold it and it goes back to home. I wonder where they got that idea from. Mind you, And let's go and see what the Antutu benchmark does. Of course, we ran an Antutu test for you, and let's take a look at the results. And yeah, this is the first run, by the way, and as we all know, second run of the Antutu benchmark usually gets a higher score. So the first run, and it just ends up on 200,000. 208,000 people. That's absolutely ridiculous. Now let's have a look at the typical tests, like the color bar test. You can see the colors are really great on the screen. The viewing angles, let's show you that. They're really amazing. It doesn't matter from which side you look at it. The colors keep just the same. So yeah, that's pretty decent as well. And of course, let me do, just to make sure we didn't get screwed. There you go, 10 fingers, of course. And everything is running really smooth and soft. Then there's the camera. Let's just go to the camera for a bit of fun. I have a little something here we can put on the camera. Now, there we go. It absolutely works just fine. There is the portrait mode. That lets me blur the background. Now let me call the picture forward. As you can see, it's absolutely great. Let me just zoom in there for you. It doesn't matter how far I zoom in. The edge detection is just right on par. And the color reproduction is absolutely stunning. Of course, I'm going to do a camera review later on, and we will give you the full news on that. But all in all, I can say it's a very beautiful phone. As you can see, it has no app drawer. It is heavily inspired on the iOS, but that again, that's with every Huawei phone. And I think we really have to stop saying it's inspired on iOS, because there are two versions of Android. That's a Chinese version, and the Chinese versions, they are not a big fan of the app drawer. And to be honest, it makes sense, because isn't the app drawer just eluding yourself? Because what does it actually do? You have a button, when you press it, it brings you to another screen where your apps are. If I do this, it brings me to another screen where my apps are. I don't see the thing. So yeah, if you're OCD and you want the menu button, then I think it's fairly easy to download another theme or another launcher that will do that. I really don't see the point of it, to be honest. So now we have done that. Let me go to YouTube and just give you a short sample of how the video is working. Let me go to the Google and let me just open up a little something. Don't know, don't care. Let's see. It's not the best music, of course, but I think it comes to show that the sound quality of the Huawei P20 is absolutely on par with the flagship models of this time. Then there is another thing I wanted to do, and I really can't remember what it was. Let's just say that we come back with the camera review, and well, what can I say? This is an absolutely great phone, and for around 650 euros, it's one of the most inexpensive flagships of the moment, and definitely worth to have a look at. I would like to thank, of course, Sanne for letting me use her Huawei P20 to do this review. And, well, that's it for now, folks. This is Papa Droid for WiredLeaks.com, and see you in the next one. Okay, so this is the front camera of the Huawei P20, and so far it looks quite good. Let's make a 360 for you and let the sunshine come from all the sides. See what it does then. This is really, really, really good. Even with the sunlight in the most tough position, this front camera seems to do its job perfectly. Great! That's all I can say, great!
If ever I had a video, would you dance in it? Would you dance in it, in it? Oh, sunshine, you are my sunshine. Let it in, let it in. Oh, sunshine, you are my sunshine. Let it in, let it in. They said that you loved me all along. Now I see you dancing with some other man. I wanna see where this goes. I need a light to see home, and I want you to know.